Hello VC, I'm back with a birthday edition of Vinyl Finds. September, probably one of my favorite months of the year. I always have good feelings. I'm a more positive person. So when that month rolls around, I don't really focus on what I haven't done. I more think about, okay, this is my month. This is the time I can reflect on the things that I have accomplished. And as it pertains to music and records, I try to go out. We try to go see concerts and try to do some extra digging, try to harness the magic of September. And it's been a good month. So my girlfriend and I had devised a trip to go to Cincinnati. She knows that I'm partial to the Midwest, so her parents had just recently relocated down there. And so, although I'm very into Michigan, and I started to kind of get a routine when we would go out there to Royal Oak and Detroit area, it was kind of a way to go explore a new ground. And then when we were there, we said, hey, let's do Kentucky. It's just across the Ohio River, and turns out there was a big music festival. So we attended, just for a day, the Bourbon and Beyond festival. So that was a pretty big highlight, getting to see some of those great bands. The billing that I saw on Sunday was pretty much exactly what I wanted, from Dinosaur Jr. to Tyler Childers. It's about all the bands I wanted to see. Getting to see the hometown kids like Jim James leading My Morning Jacket. Wow, wow, wow. Unbelievable. Okay, but let's talk about the finds, right? That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. But before we do, in case you wanted to know what I pour for my birthday, aside from some champagne and Burgundy, I love Beaujolais. So this is a producer I represent here in the state of California. This is Jean-Marc Burgaud. Kind of lightly say that D. This is from the village of Morgon. And then the vineyard is Grand Cru. So this is Cru Beaujolais. So from the vintage of 2022. So again, Grand Cru is your vineyard. So these are delicious wines. They are still relatively affordable. They're fresh, they're bright, they're kind of Pinot Noir adjacent, and fantastic with food. This producer tends to be a really incredible value and rewards patience in the cellar. It's also immediately delicious. So if this is in your market, go out and buy a bottle of Jean-Marc Burgaud if you drink wine. So the grape, Gamay, but this isn't Beaujolais Nouveau, which you are using to celebrate the season. This is the pinnacle, and one of the best producers to do it in the current day. Just clean, vibrant, very, very pretty wines. So cheers, Garnet in the glass, redolent of like black cherry and strawberry, granitic soils. And away we go. All right, so like I said, kind of try to harness the magic of September. Imagine my surprise when I was doing a sales call right before the birthday in San Pedro, and a store that's frequently kind of has hit or miss hours because the shopkeeper isn't in perfect health. I did catch him when he was open. And of course, I'm talking about none other than PM Sounds. So for those taking notes, when you come down to LA, if you can get down there, PM Sounds got some great jazz. It's a great shopkeeper, beautiful store, San Pedro, super cool area. I found this on the wall. This will complete my trilogy. This is the Magnificent Thad Jones, Volume 3. Now this artwork, everything about this, for these Thad Jones records, it's just incredible. Just great album artwork, design, the whole thing from Reed Miles and everything. Thad, the great trumpeter. This originally comes out in 1956. This is a 72 repress on the United Artists label. It is clean as a whistle. Love the music. You know, you have Gigi Grice, Tommy Flanagan. You also have Barry Harris and Max Roach. You have his brother, Elvin Jones. So you have some different recording sessions happening here. But to leave with an original of this would cost me no less than $500. So $75 for a very, very clean copy. It's kind of the going rate for these United Artists pressings, and they sound great. As long as they're clean, that's kind of what I care about. His playing, right, the Jones brothers, Hank, him, and Elvin, can do no wrong. fantastic music. So very, very happy to have that. Also happy to go and check out PM Sounds. It had been up. So we go to Cincinnati, where her parents had just recently moved, and I had some record stores that were high on the list. So Shake It Records, which unfortunately I didn't have enough time for, but I did have time for the Loveland, Ohio Plaid Room Records. Now, if you're not familiar, you probably might be tangentially, as they are the sister store to the fantastic neo-soul label Coal Mine Records. And Coal Mine produces such great artists as Kelly Finnegan, Duran Jones and the Indications, Aaron Fraser, the drummer, GA20, that blues band, and just so many more. Ruby Deanda. There's just an endless amount of fantastic music coming off that label. A lot of that stuff is done very well. Got to go in there, and that store did not disappoint. It was beautifully curated. It looked amazing. The new arrival bins were pregnant with records. For what I was looking for, could not be happier. Plaid Room Records, highly recommended. The first thing that I found was this Magnetic Fields record. This was originally released in 2004. I saw them on this tour. This is Mr. Stephen Merritt, fantastic bass vocalist, really witty lyricism, fun. This band starts in Boston and continues. So they have the Six, they have all these offshoots, the Gothic Archies. I've kind of followed all of those bands. I would say the Six, also a very recommended listen. During this tour, this has got some great songs like I Don't Believe You. So it's a little bit sad and depressing how we can't trust our partner, but just sung beautifully, great stuff. I would say also another jumping off point for this band, it would be 69 Love Songs. That would be a good spot to jump off with. So got that, paid $19.99. That was a record store day release from 2023. It was sealed. It is now no longer sealed. I've spun it a few times. I also left with this, the 1967 release of Scotch and Soul. This is an original stereo copy from Mr. Rufus Harley out of Raleigh, North Carolina. This, you know, his first two record covers, they have him in Scottish attire, and, you know, the bagpipes are prominent, right? This is kind of his claim to fame. But he also plays the saxophone, and really, you kind of got to applaud what this man was doing. Moding in a different way, right? We're using a different timbre to achieve jazz, and why not, you know? Rahsaan Roland Kirk, multi-instrumentalist playing at the same time, right? There's all these different people that are doing it. So it's like, that's kind of gimmicky jazz. I think he's doing it in earnest and with sincerity, and it comes across. Am I going to spin it all the time? I don't believe so, but it's $10, and for a fantastic piece of the canon, happy to have it. I kind of liken it to like a Tiny Tim, right? You see this very tall man with a ukulele and singing in this crazy falsetto, but there's only truly beautiful when I hear Tiny Tim, and I know I'm not alone because Tiny Tim's got a lot of fans. So we didn't hit Shake It, which was unfortunate, but we loaded the day full of fun stuff and got to hit, you know, a Reds game. They got crushed by the Braves. We ate at some fantastic restaurants down there. So really, really loved my time in Cincinnati. Felt kind of quick before we moved on to Kentucky. But before we did, we hit one Goodwill. And in that Goodwill, there was like this little chunk of Swedish records, more like Basie in Sweden or Tony Bennett in Sweden. And also found this Swedish press of Lee Hazelwood. So, A Requiem for an Almost Lady. This is released in 1971. This is really a beautiful record, right? I know him from his attachment to Nancy Sinatra, right? And they do some famous songs there. This, again, I'll show you that inner label because this is a Swedish pressing on Viking. I paid $3 for this. This is really great kind of singer-songwriter music, and this is not where I know him from. Light in the Attic has done a few reissues of some of his work in this period. From there, we went down to Kentucky, and, you know, we did all the touristy things. My father is a huge horse race guy, so we had to hit Churchill Downs. hit some awesome restaurants. Lupo was probably the highlight. Definitely hit some Ed Lee restaurants as well. But Lupo, to me, was just a terrific spot. Then went to the Louisville Slugger Museum. Did it all. Again, Bourbon and Beyond Festival was absolutely brilliant. To see Tyler Childers and My Morning Jacket in their local Louisville arena, great. Dinosaur Jr. was definitely out of place there, but they were bringing the thunder. They brought the heat. The only thing I hate about festivals, right, as I'm sure many of you can agree, you make sacrifices, right? So most of the time we were pretty good for the bands I wanted to see. We saw the Beach Boys, we saw War on Drugs, The National, but at a certain point you kind of got to start to take 20 minutes less of this set to go walk over to see Dinosaur Jr., and then you got to take 20 minutes off their set to go walk back and see My Morning Jacket or whatever. It was amazing. It was amazing. I can't wait to go back and do Kentucky kind of in a more relaxed way. We caught a Bats game, so super fun. I also, because I take notes from you guys in the VC, I also ran into Mr. Bob Bradley at a Half Price Books, so that was kind of funny. He was digging. There was some great stuff, right? I saw Siamese Dream in the box. They wanted $300, which I guess is the going rate for a very clean copy. I'm not gonna spend that on that record, but I have a repress, totally happy with that. Went to Better Days, did see some really cool stuff, but I was kind of holding out. Although I was in vacation mode, I was kind of holding out for like something I had to have, and it never materialized, and that's totally okay. Bang up record stores down there, fantastic trip. Highly recommended, especially if I'm in the beverage industry, right? So bourbon definitely takes precedence over a lot of other things down there. So the last leg, Oregon. Again, harnessing that birthday juju. I know some stops. I found a record at a place that John from the Digital Gramophone had talked about, and I'll talk about that in another video to keep this a little shorter. So I hit some antique stores that one was by my parents' house and then the other one's out of the way, but we love going there. So again, it's my mom's birthday, a couple days after mine on the calendar, and one of the stores had this. So the Vinyl Voyage had introduced me to this band, the Blue Nile. Now this is a release from 1983, A Walk Across the Rooftops. This is an original US copy, A&M. This is cry in your beer music. This is also similarly affecting, whereas the Lee Hazelwood is just kind of brilliant songwriting and kind of more like folksy. This is synth and kind of ethereal and then really kind of a slow thing. So this Paul Buchanan guy is starting to really get ingrained in here and in here. So I really have been spinning this one a lot. I know this band is most famous for hats, and I hope to find that record, but to find that at an antique store, paid $35. Very, very happy. Okay, now this is the highlight, right? I'm currently in a heavy jazz period, so there was a vendor that I wanted to go to at this other antique store. I had found a Blossom Dearie record before. All the records were $3. I hadn't been there in a year, but I was like, you know, you're riding a high from previous, and you were like, this could be a spot. So we go, we're hitting all the stalls, looking around, and I kind of beeline it to this vendor. And sure enough, small stack of jazz sitting there, and first artist is Charlie Bird. And then very quickly I spin and I see this, and I go, oh shoot, Huntington Ashram Monastery, the second recording of her as a leader, right, after a monastic trio. This comes out in 1969. This is where I'm going to give props to the other birthday boy, the other Virgo in the house, Mr. Level Carter. Look how beautiful these gatefold sleeves are. Holy stuffing. Okay, so there's a little wear here. I paid $3 for this record. This is an original copy, and it is very clean. Put it through the Humming Guru. If I go through a couple more times, I can probably clean it entirely. This is also where I want to be, right? There's like a universal consciousness or whatever. You know, they have that funny bumper sticker, Keep Honkin'. I'm listening to Alice Coltrane's classic. Love that bumper sticker. That's not my favorite album. I don't want to hear you go into this crazy world. I don't know if I can follow you there. I want to be more in this world. This is Alice Coltrane at that purely beautiful space. Absolutely amazing, from the Detroit-born Harpist, insane, insane. So now, very quickly, I keep flipping, and I find this. Donald Byrd's Fuego, 1960 release. There's the $3 price tag there. Original mono copy. So is it in perfect shape? Absolutely not. But do you leave with really, again, another Detroit-born trumpeter, do you leave with a Blue Note for $3? Not frequently. Really great music. I also left with this Downbeat magazine for $5. So super happy to have it. The great Wes Montgomery there. So it's been a great month. So again, thank you to everyone who's watching. Hope everybody's doing well, and we will talk to you soon. I'll have another video up soon too. Bye.